My name is Rhea. I am 34 years old, and until recently I thought I had a supportive family. But when my daughter's life hung in the balance, my parents chose my older sister Teal's big promotion party over helping us. "We can't cancel now," my mother snapped over the phone. This promotion could change everything for the family. I begged them for financial help with Ren's emergency surgery costs soaring into tens of thousands, but they poured money into that lavish event instead, caterers a fancy venue in Miami, even flying in her boss and colleagues to celebrate her rise at the firm. The crisis escalated fast. Doctors warned us time was critical, rushing Ren into tests that confirmed a congenital heart defect requiring immediate surgery. I paced the hospital hallway dialing my parents repeatedly, only to hear excuses about the party's importance for future stability. That final rejection hit like a slap. I realized their priorities were set and my family's emergency was just an inconvenience. In that moment, I decided to cut off all financial support I'd been providing for years, from monthly checks to covering their debts, and to expose their choices publicly. The fallout was explosive, leading to consequences they never saw coming. If you've ever felt betrayed by family priorities, hit that like button, subscribe for more real-life drama stories, and drop a comment below sharing your thoughts. I was born in a quiet suburb in Florida where palm trees swayed and retirement communities dotted the landscape. My parents raised me and my older sister with what seemed like equal love at first. But as we grew, it became clear they favored Teal, my older sister, by 4 years. She was the ambitious one, always top of her class, dreaming of climbing the corporate ladder. My father, Quinn, would beam at her report cards. He said, "Teal's going to make it big and take care of us all." My mother, Sage, spent extra time helping Teal with college applications, while I got the leftovers, hand-me-down clothes, and quick nods for my average grades. One Christmas, Teal got a new bike and I received socks. My mother explained, "Teal needs it for her after-school activities." Incidents like that piled up. Teal's birthday parties were elaborate with cakes from the bakery and friends over. Mine were simple family dinners. I tried not to resent it, focusing on my own interests like drawing. Teal excelled in business school landing internships that my parents bragged about to neighbors. They paid her tuition without question, even dipping into savings. When I wanted to study art, they pushed me towards something practical like accounting. My mother said, "Be realistic, Rhea, Teal's path is secure." I listened, got my degree, and started working as a bookkeeper in a small firm. It paid the bills, but I felt overshadowed. To help, I took on extra shifts, sending part of my earnings home when my parents mentioned tight finances. Teal sent postcards from her travels, but I was the reliable one. Years passed, and I met Vance at a local community event. He was steady, a teacher at a high school with a kind smile and no grand ambitions. We dated quietly, away from family scrutiny. When we married in a simple ceremony my parents attended but complained about the lack of flair. My father muttered, "Teal would have gone bigger." Soon after, our daughter Ren came along, bringing joy to our modest home. I balanced work and motherhood, sending money home monthly to help my parents with their mortgage and medical bills. They were getting older, living in one of those retirement-friendly neighborhoods, and I felt it was my duty. My mother would say on calls, "Thanks, Rhea," but quickly pivot to Teal's news. Teal, meanwhile, moved to Miami for her career in marketing. She rose quickly, becoming a manager at a big agency. My parents visited her often, driving hours to attend her company parties. When I called about Ren's first steps, they'd listen briefly before shifting to Teal's latest achievement. My father would say, "Teal just closed a major deal," his voice full of pride. I swallowed my hurt, wiring more money when they mentioned rising costs. As Ren grew, our life stabilized. Vance and I saved for a house down payment, but I still supported my parents' $500 a month, plus extras for holidays. They justified it by saying Teal was investing in her future, which would benefit everyone. My mother assured me during one rare visit, "Once Teal's at the top, she'll help out." But the favoritism stung deeper with time. When Wren started school, I invited them to her play. They declined, citing Teal's important meeting. I pushed it down, focusing on my family. Vance noticed, though. He said one evening as we tucked Wren in, "They take you for granted." I nodded, but kept sending the checks, hoping one day they'd see my efforts. Little did I know how deep their bias ran until Teal's promotion came up. Teal called excitedly about her rise to director, planning a huge celebration. My parents jumped in, offering to host and fund parts of it. I congratulated her, but inside I wondered why my milestones never got the same fanfare. The pattern from childhood persisted, with Teal always in the spotlight. My support continued, but the imbalance grew more apparent with each passing year. Teal's promotion to director marked a turning point in her career, and my parents couldn't stop talking about it. She had been grinding away at that marketing agency in Miami for years, and now she was leading a team on high-profile campaigns. Teal met her husband, a senior executive at a rival firm, during one of those networking events she attended regularly. They bonded over strategy talks and late-night deals, and soon he was part of the family conversations. Teal said during a family call, "He's perfect, he understands the hustle." My parents adored him, inviting the couple over for dinners whenever they visited our suburb. As the promotion neared, Teal planned a massive celebration to mark the occasion. She wanted it grand: a rented hall in Miami, live music, catered food from top chefs, and invitations to her boss, colleagues, and industry contacts. The event was to serve as a networking opportunity as much as a celebration, positioning her for even higher roles. My parents volunteered to contribute financially, dipping into their savings to cover the venue deposit. My father said excitedly, "This is an investment in Teal's future and ours." I offered help too, wiring an extra $1,000 to ease the costs. Teal thanked me briefly in a text, but the focus stayed on her big day. Meanwhile, my life in the suburb continued quietly. Vance and I managed our household on our combined salaries, with Wren now in preschool. I kept up the monthly support to my parents, covering their utilities and occasional repairs. But as Teal's star rose, their attention shifted more noticeably. Calls from home became dominated by updates on Teal's preparations. My mother would detail the guest list, the menu choices, even the dress Teal picked. When I shared about Wren's art projects or Vance's school events, the responses were short. My mother said once, "That's nice, Rhea, but Teal's dealing with so much pressure right now." The imbalance felt sharper, like my contributions were expected, but not celebrated. Teal's husband encouraged the extravagance, suggesting it would impress her superiors. He handled the logistics, booking photographers and a DJ. My parents drove to Miami multiple times, making the hours-long trip to help with decorations and tastings. I offered to visit and help, but they brushed it off. My father replied, "We're busy with the party, come after it's done." The support I provided started to feel one-sided. When my parents mentioned needing more for the event's flowers, I sent another $500 without question. Yet when Wren had a minor ear infection requiring doctor visits, they didn't ask how she was. Vance pointed it out over dinner. He said, "They're all about Teal's success now." I defended them at first, saying it was a big milestone, but doubt crept in. As the celebration approached, Teal shared photos of the planning on social media. My parents commented enthusiastically, reposting with pride. I liked the posts, but inside I wondered why my own achievements, a promotion to senior bookkeeper, Wren's first recital, got only passing mentions. The emotional distance grew too. Calls to me decreased, replaced by group chats centered on Teal. One evening, Teal called me directly, something rare. She said, "Rhea, can you send a bit more for the bar tab? It's adding up." I agreed transferring another $300, but asked about visiting Ren soon. She promised vaguely, "After the party, things are hectic." The conversation ended quickly, leaving me staring at my phone. My parents echoed the sentiment in their next call. My mother said, "Teal's under so much stress with this, her career's taking off." They didn't mention my ongoing help treating it as routine. Vance and I discussed it that night. He said, "You're funding their favoritism." I realized he was right. The money I sent enabled their focus on Teal while my family took a back seat. The preparation intensified with my parents hosting a pre-party dinner at home. They invited neighbors to boast about Teal's rise. I wasn't asked to attend, cited as too far for a quick trip. Instead, I received photos afterward showing everyone toasting Teal's success. The exclusion stung, but I kept quiet, wiring the final $200 for the event favors. By then, the celebration had become a symbol of their priorities. Teal's husband sealed deals at informal meetings during planning, further boosting her profile. My parents saw it as a family victory, but it felt like my role was reduced to financier. The emotional distance deepened with fewer check-ins on Ren or our life. I started questioning if my support was appreciated or just expected. As the date loomed, Teal sent an invitation for me to attend virtually. My older sister said in the note, "Wish you could be here in person, but we understand the distance." I RSVP'd yes, but the gesture felt token. Vance shook his head when I told him. He said, "They're building her world, not ours." The imbalance had evolved from childhood favoritism to adult neglect, setting the stage for what came next. The first sign of trouble came during a routine checkup for Ren. She had been complaining of tiredness after playing, and her doctor ordered tests. The results hit like a thunderbolt, diagnosed with a congenital heart defect, requiring immediate surgery to repair a valve. The specialist explained it clearly. Without this operation soon, her condition could worsen rapidly. Costs were staggering, over $50,000 even with insurance, and we needed to cover the deductible and travel to a specialty hospital in Orlando. Vance and I scrambled, dipping into our savings, but it wasn't enough. I called my parents that night, voice shaking as I described Ren's diagnosis. My mother listened quietly at first. She said, "Oh, Rhea, that's awful. We'll pray for her." But when I asked for financial help, the tone shifted. My father jumped in, explaining their funds were tied up in Teal's celebration. He said, "The party's just weeks away, and we've already committed to the costs." I pleaded, detailing the urgency, the surgery scheduled in 10 days, Ren's weakening state. Vance held my hand as I spoke. Ren sleeping in the next room, but my parents hesitated. My mother said, "Teal's promotion is a big deal. It could open doors for all of us. We can't pull out now." They suggested I take a loan or use credit cards, ignoring that I'd been their financial lifeline for years. The conversation turned tense. I reminded them of the money I'd sent monthly, the extras for their bills. My father dismissed it. He said, "That's family helping family, but this event is an investment. Teal will pay us back tenfold once she's higher up." I hung up, frustrated, tears streaming. Vance comforted me. He said, "We'll figure it out ourselves." The next day, Ren's condition deteriorated. She fainted at preschool. We rushed her to the emergency room, ER, where doctors confirmed the need for swift action. I texted my parents updates and photos of Ren in the hospital bed. Their replies were brief, "Thinking of her." No offers to come, no additional support. Instead, they sent pictures of Teal's party invitations, asking my opinion on the design. I called again, desperate. My older sister joined the call this time. Teal said, "Rhea, I get it's scary, but the party's locked in, cancellations would cost more." My parents agreed, prioritizing the celebration's potential benefits. My mother said, "Once Teal's director role stabilizes, she'll help with Ren's bills." But Ren needed help now, not later. The argument escalated. I accused them of favoritism, pointing out how they'd always put Teal first. My father defended himself. Teal's success lifts everyone. You're being selfish. Selfish. With my daughter fighting for her life, I ended the call heart-pounding. Vance and I explored options, crowdfunding a second mortgage, but time was short. Ren underwent preliminary procedures, stable but fragile. I updated my parents daily, hoping they'd change their minds. Instead, they wired $200 for Ren's get-well gift, while spending thousands on the party. Teal's husband even called, offering advice on medical loans. He said, "Focus on the long game. Teal's promotion means more resources soon." It felt condescending, ignoring the immediate crisis. As Ren's surgery date approached, the contrast sharpened. My parents posted about the upcoming event on social media, excitement palpable. I commented supportively, but inside resentment built. Vance urged me to confront them again. He said, "They need to see what they're doing." I made a video call that evening. Seeing Ren's pale face on screen, they softened briefly. My mother said, "She looks so small, poor thing." But when I pressed for help, they circled back to the party. My father said, "We've committed $5,000 already. Pulling out now would embarrass Teal in front of her boss." The breaking point came when Teal chimed in. Teal said, "Delay the surgery if possible. Give us a month." Delay for a party. I exploded, recounting every sacrifice I'd made. They listened in silence. Then my mother said, "You're overreacting. This is for the family." I hung up, vowing no more support. Ren's surgery loomed, and we scraped together funds from friends and my work bonus. The operation succeeded, but the stress took a toll. Vance and I argued from exhaustion. My parents sent flowers post-surgery with a note, "Proud of Ren, can't wait to tell Teal." No visit, no real aid. The party went ahead as planned, photos flooding my feed, smiles, toasts, Teal in the center. The betrayal crystallized then. Their choice, Teal's career over Ren's life, shattered my trust. I stopped the monthly transfers that day, blocking their pleas for more party funds. The fallout began, but I focused on Ren's recovery, steeling myself for what followed. With Ren recovering at home, I turned my attention to the betrayal that had nearly cost us everything. The party's photos still popped up on my feed, a constant reminder of their choice. I couldn't let it slide anymore. First, I stopped all financial transfers, no more of the monthly $500, no extras for bills. My bank app showed the last payment, and I felt a weight lift as I canceled the recurring setup. Next, I contacted York, our family lawyer in the suburb. He had handled my parents' estate planning years ago and knew our history. I scheduled a meeting and explained over the phone. York nodded gravely. He said, "Let's review your assets and see how to protect them." In his office, surrounded by legal books, I detailed the situation: Ren's crisis, their refusal, the party funding. He said, "We can amend your will to exclude them as beneficiaries and redirect to Ren's trust." We drafted the changes that afternoon. My modest savings, house equity, and life insurance would go to Vance and Ren, with nothing for my parents or Teal. York advised adding a clause explaining the reason to deter contests. He said, "This makes it harder for them to challenge. It's your clear intent." I signed, feeling empowered for the first time. Back home, Vance supported the move. He said, "It's about protecting our family now." Ren, still weak but smiling, played quietly as I pondered the next step. Public exposure felt necessary. They needed to face consequences. I gathered evidence, bank statements showing my transfers, emails, where they asked for money for the party while ignoring Ren's updates, even screenshots of their social posts celebrating amid my pleas. I compiled it into a Facebook post titled, "When Family Chooses a Party Over a Child's Life." The words flowed. For years I've supported my parents financially, But when my daughter Ren needed emergency heart surgery, they chose to fund my older sister's promotion party instead. Here's the proof. I attached the documents redacting sensitive numbers but keeping the truth clear. Hitting post sent a rush through me. The post went viral in our suburb's small network, shared hundreds of times. Likes and comments flooded in from friends, neighbors, extended family. Shock emojis, messages of support for Ren. One cousin wrote, "I had no idea, disgusting. My parents called within hours." My mother said, "Rhea, take that down, it's embarrassing us." I refused. My father joined. He said, "This could ruin Teal's career, her boss saw it." Good, I thought that was the point. Teal texted furiously. She wrote, "How could you—" "This is sabotage." I replied, "How could you choose a party over Ren?" The scandal escalated. Teal's colleagues distanced themselves. Her boss questioned her family's priorities in a meeting. Teal lost a key client, blaming the negative publicity. Her promotion meant to be a triumph became tainted. My parents faced backlash from neighbors' whispers at the grocery store, canceled invitations. Their retirement community buzzed with gossip. They begged me to delete the post. My mother said during another call, "We're sorry, please, for the family's sake." But apologies rang hollow after Ren's ordeal. I blocked their numbers, focusing on Ren's therapy sessions. "York confirmed the will changes were executed and notarized," he said. "It's ironclad now." Vance and I started a college fund for Ren with the saved money. No more draining our resources. Teal's husband reached out offering a settlement money for Ren if I retracted. He said, "Let's resolve this privately." I declined. The damage was done. Teal's agency put her on probation, citing the distraction. My parents' finances crumbled without my support. Bills piled up. They sold assets to cover debts. Friends turned away, seeing the truth. The suburb with its tight-knit retirement circles shunned them. I felt a mix of guilt and relief. Guilt for the fallout, relief for breaking free. Ren asked about her grandparents once. I explained gently, "They're busy, but we have each other." Vance hugged me. He said, "You did what was right." The post's reach grew, inspiring others to share similar stories. Comments poured in, "Thank you for speaking out, my family did the same." It became a catalyst for discussions on favoritism. As weeks passed, Teal's career stalled. She lost the director role in a restructure blamed on the scandal. My parents pleaded through mutual friends. A cousin relayed, "They're regretting everything." But I stayed firm, no contact, no forgiveness. The revenge wasn't just financial, it was public accountability. They lost face support networks and Teal's momentum. I rebuilt our life stronger without the burden. Ren thrived, her scar a reminder of our resilience. The fallout from my actions hit harder than I expected. Teal's promotion party, once a glittering showcase, became a public embarrassment. A coworker shared a screenshot of my post with Teal's boss, and the backlash was swift. Within days, they rescinded the director role, citing reputational risks. Teal was demoted to her previous position. Her dreams of climbing higher stalled indefinitely. My parents faced their own reckoning. Without my monthly $500 transfers, their finances unraveled. They had relied on my support to maintain their lifestyle in our suburb's retirement community, but now bills piled up: utilities, medical expenses, even their car payment. My father tried to secure a loan, but local banks hesitated after hearing the gossip. A neighbor told me, "People are avoiding them at the community center." Their social standing crumbled as friends distanced themselves after seeing my post. Teal called me first, her voice sharp with anger. She said, "Rhea, you've ruined everything, my career, my reputation." I stayed calm, reminding her of Ren's surgery, how she'd chosen a party over her niece's life. She said, "I didn't know it was that serious." The excuse felt weak, and I ended the call unwilling to hear more. My parents tried next, leaving voicemails I initially ignored. My mother said in one, "Rhea, we're sorry, we didn't realize how bad it was." My father followed with his own message. He said, "We thought Teal's success would help everyone, please talk to us." Their apologies sounded desperate, but they didn't mention visiting Ren or offering real support. I blocked their numbers again, done with empty words. Teal's husband reached out trying to mediate. He said, "Rhea, let's meet and sort this out. Maybe we can cover some of Ren's costs now." It was too late. His offer felt like damage control, not remorse. I declined, focusing on Ren's follow-up appointments. Vance backed me up. He said, "They had their chance, now it's about us." Our suburb's rumor mill churned. A local business owner once close to my parents stopped inviting them to events. My mother tried contacting me through a mutual friend. The friend said, "They're struggling, Rhea, they had to sell their second car." I felt a pang of guilt, but remembered Ren in the ER alone except for us. That memory steeled my resolve. Teal's marriage began to crack under the pressure. Her husband, embarrassed by the public fallout, grew distant. A cousin later told me he moved out, citing the scandal as a breaking point. Teal's social media went silent, no more. Glamorous posts, just a quiet retreat from the spotlight. My parents' situation worsened. They lost a key investment deal when a partner learned of their neglect. My father sent a letter hand-delivered by a neighbor. He wrote, "We're sorry for prioritizing the wrong things. Please give us a chance." I read it, then set it aside. No meeting, no response. York. My lawyer checked in to ensure the will held firm. He said, "They might try to contest it, but the documentation is solid." I thanked him. Relieved our future was secure for Ren. Vance and I used the money once sent to my parents to bolster Ren's medical fund, ensuring her long-term care. The community's reaction grew louder. My post sparked local discussions. People shared their own stories of family favoritism. A neighbor messaged, "Your courage inspired me to confront my parents." It felt validating, but my focus stayed on Ren, who was regaining strength daily. Teal tried one last time, showing up unannounced at our doorstep. Teal said, tears in her eyes, "I lost my job, Rhea. Please take down the post." I shook my head, explaining that truth wasn't negotiable. She left defeated, and I closed the door, heart heavy but certain. My parents made a final attempt driving to our house. I saw their car from the window but didn't answer. Vance said, "You don't owe them anything." He was right. Ren ran to me, laughing, her energy returning. That was my priority now. The consequences were complete. Teal had lost the director role during a restructure blamed on the scandal. Her marriage was broken, and my parents were financially ruined and socially isolated. Their regret was clear, but I chose no contact. Ren's recovery was my focus, our family rebuilt without their shadow. Months had passed since I cut all ties, and our life in our suburb found a new rhythm, free from the shadow of my family's favoritism. Ren's health improved steadily, her laughter filling the house as she played in the yard. Vance and I grew closer through the ordeal, our bond strengthened by facing it alone. I focused on building a secure future for her, enrolling her in therapy, and saving every penny we once sent to my parents. Reflecting on this painful journey, I learned vital lessons. First, ambition cannot replace family bonds. Teal's career pursuit overshadowed Ren's critical needs, proving that prioritizing success over loved ones fractures trust. Second, choices carry lasting consequences. My parents' decision to fund a party over a life-saving surgery led to their ruin, showing how neglect breeds deep resentment. Third, true family is built on mutual support. Vance and Ren became my strength, while blood ties faded in the absence of reciprocity. This story carries a powerful message for you all. Never let ambition or convenience eclipse those who need you most. If you're putting work above family crises, pause and reconsider. Regret hits hard when trust is broken. My experience shows that standing up to unfairness, even publicly, can spark change and empower others. Many who saw my post shared their own stories, finding courage to confront similar betrayals. Thank you all for listening to my story. If it resonated, hit like, subscribe for more real family dramas, and comment your thoughts below. Share your story. What would you do in my shoes?